Hey everybody, Soundwave Productions here, and welcome to part 3. Yes, instead of being 2 parts, this is actually going to be like more than that because the camera app decided to be stupid again and crash, and I lost the footage. So we're going to continue where we left off. So where we left off, we're going to take this piece right here and just plug it in there. Plug it into the just plug it into the torso. That should sit there like that. There we go. Then we're going to start putting the legs together. So you're going to want to take one of these assemblies here. I'm going to bend it like this. Then I'm going to take, now we're going to start taking some pieces from the back assembly here. So this is just going to go on here. There we go. This will go here. There we go. Then take the foot assembly from earlier. I messed this up. So basically, this is how you're going to want everything looking. I'm going to take 2 of these from the back assembly. And they'll just stick on here like that. There we go. We got one foot all put together. And you can do the same thing for the other foot. That in. There we go. And then they will just stick onto the torso, and we'll just peg into the torso here. There we go. And then you can just move some stuff out of the way here. So just adjust the camera here. Okay, so now we have now we can just move the arms down, and you're going to want to move them out 1 click. Now we're going to start working on the null ray. So you're going to want to take this missile launcher piece here, put it on like that. Take this piece, put it on here like that. And then we're going to take these from the pieces from earlier. Those will just stick onto here. And, and then there we go. We have a null ray all put together. The same thing for the other null ray. Yep. Then we take the intakes, and those will just go onto here. And now those pieces that held the intakes in place earlier, you're going to want to take those, and these pieces from earlier. And you're just going to want to, okay, so you're just going to want to, we're just going to want to use one of these. Just stick on there like that. And we're going to take, and you're going to want to take a cheese slope here. Put on there, and then just take a 1x1 tile, and that'll just go on there. It'll make his face. Where'd that go? Okay. Oh, that piece fell. Okay, so that'll just make the face. Put that on there. And then you're going to want to take the other piece that holds the intake. You're going to take, now there are 2 of these pieces that hold the intake. Now, just take 2 cheese slope pieces and just put them on there like that. And then just connect both of these assemblies to this top part here. And you're going to want to build this. Oh, and those will just stick. There we go. And there's Starscream's head all put together. You know, now we will find. Now let's finish everything up by just putting all of this together. So you're going to want to take the wings. Those will just stick onto here. This will come on here, and take this from the cockpit piece. Take this from the cockpit section earlier. And all of these pieces from the jet mode you're going to want to use in the robot mode. There are no extra jet mode bits left behind when you're done with the transformation. Then you take the top, then you take the tail fins from earlier, and those will just stick on to the back. Finally, we can take this whole assembly, and that'll just plug onto the back. And here we have Starscream in his robot mode. And he looks good. He looks good. Definitely a nice representation of G1 Starscream. I love the way this build turned out. Yeah. So let's take a closer look at the face, the build for the head. Nicely done. And I'm thinking of doing more G1 characters in this style. So leave some comments down below on who you'd like to see built for the next G1 character. So as far as articulation goes, the head is fixed in place. The arms can rotate, and they can move out that far. Actually, they can move out about that far. There's a bend at the elbow, and then you get rotation at the wrist, and the fingers are individually articulated. As far as the legs go, you're going to want to take these pieces and move them out of the way for the leg movement, because the legs can move forward about that far, backward about that far. Our movement can do the full splits. Got bend at the knee and some knee rotation at the knee. Yep. So that is basically the posability for Starscream. Now for the accessories, I'll show off the effects parts when we get into the display stand. But the missile pods, you're just going to want to undo these panels here, and the missile pods will just go onto here. And again, this is taking inspiration from MP52. I don't know if Starscream actually had missile pods in his chest in the G1 cartoon, but this is just taking inspiration from MP52 Starscream. So there you go. Now let us show off the display stand. So if you want to properly use all the effects parts, this is the pose you're going to want to have them in, so that way you can use all the effects parts in a way that makes sense. So you're going to want to have his arms oriented like this. Just have the arms in a closed position. There we go. And then you take, there should be a hinge piece that I cannot find. Anyway, there's going to be a hinge piece that you would put on for a neck adapter so you can get him to look down. But I cannot seem to find it. So I'm just going to show off Starscream in with his head looking up. So the feet have an extra bit of transformation in order to use the thruster effects parts. So you're just going to want to undo all this. Just remove this assembly here. Slide this up. Undo this here. There you go. Just take that one by one piece from the cylindrical section here. So the both one by one pieces from the cylindrical section will end up being used in this new pose. Okay, so this is what you... Okay, so you're just going to want to have... Just basically do what I'm doing. You're just going to want to basically be doing what I am doing here. So you're just going to... Now, using the pieces from the leg, you should be able to convert it so that way it looks like this. There you go. And that is how you're going to want to have the leg looking for the thruster effect part. And then you're going to want to do the same thing for the other leg. Just open it up. Open. Slide this up. Yep. Now that we have both legs for Starscream all put together, you're going to want to stand him up. You're just going to want to put the legs back on. Now, the reason the legs are different with Starscream is that the legs are different, have two different configurations, because in this configuration, he becomes unstable. He is more unstable when the legs are in this configuration. This is mainly for the flight stand. So the standard configuration is if you want to have him like standing with, if you want to have him without the stand here. Okay, so now we're gonna move. Okay, so now we're gonna remove these back pieces here. We'll just. It's best to take the wings off that way, so you can remove these back pieces. And then you're gonna want to move them out 2 clicks. Move this out 1 click. There you go. So that way the legs look like this. And then you're just gonna want to split the legs, move them out 1 click, and then all of this will just go onto the display base here. Go. And now for the effects parts on the thrusters, those will just plug in right here. Go. And then take the wings, just put them back on. There you go. And now for the effects parts on the null rays. The null. Okay, that wasn't supposed to happen. Okay, so for the effects parts on the null rays, you're just going to want to plug them in right here. Oh, okay, so you're just going to plug them in so that way they look like this. You know? Yeah. That is one thing. You got to be very careful when trying to get this guy on the flight stand, because if you don't, something will fall off or the whole figure will fall over. There we go. Now, once we got him in that pose, take him and just put him back on his flight stand. Just put it back on there. And the tail fins fell off when he fell off the stand. Okay. Now that we have that done, we can just take the effects parts here.